Hey, this is Brandon with Extreme Daily Drivers, where we are always balling on a budget and wrenching in our garage. And today I'm going to show you how to restore your suspension on your third gen Honda Prelude. Before we begin the reassembly, I kind of want to show you guys what it takes or what I've done to go from something like this, which is a lower control arm with the bushings pressed out, to this, which is a nice finished product with new bushings and some new hardware. So let's get started by showing you exactly what it takes to get from here to here. First, we're going to hit this with this. Alright, we hit this with the drill and the wire brush. It's not perfect, but it's a lot better than it was. You can see all this here that came off. So now we're going to go ahead and give it a good washing. Look at that, gross. I've washed this thing 3 times, and as you can see, it's not nearly as dirty as it was. Pretty much ready for paint. Alright, we got this thing cleaned up. Now it's time to hit it with some primer. Alright, we're going to do 2 coats of primer, 10 minutes between each coat. So we got 2 coats of primer. I'm going to hit it with 2 coats of this stuff. Don't mind the grass, landscapers are coming tomorrow. So the lower control arm has been cleaned up. It has been primed, it has been painted, and I put new bushings in. So come over here and take a look at the final product. Here it is. Here's the upper control arm with the new bushings, and here's the lower. It's not completely perfect as far as a paint job, but it's okay. It's going on in the car where really no one's ever going to see it. This is not going to be a show car. This is going to be a daily driver, so this is really just for me. Before I assemble everything, let me show you what I've done so far. Here is the hub, obviously cleaned up and painted. And if you turn it over, you see I pressed in a new ball joint there. This is a Napa Blank. It doesn't come with this black painted center. I went ahead and painted that, as well as the sides and the back. These are just a random part. This is the original rear caliper. Obviously cleaned up, all new hardware, all new grease. Inside these little booties, new booties. Looks awesome. Upper control arm, I'm sure you've seen enough of that thing. Check out these tiny little brake pads. These are ridiculous, but they are for this car. They do fit inside this caliper, believe it or not, and I guess they're better than drums. Here's new upper ball joint. This is a black stainless steel Technofit brake hose. These are new Megan Racing lower tie rods. They are for the 4th gen Prelude, and they are direct bolt-on for 3rd gen if it's not 4-wheel steering. So if you got 4-wheel steering, you can't use these guys. Next, I got the case board coilovers. Everyone knows about those. And again, lastly, I got the lower control arm. So I used Prothane bushings for everything on this car except for this part of the rear inner lower control arm. You can purchase some Prothanes, but the problem is that in order to make them fit, you have to trim them. And since I'm not into cutting up brand new stuff, I just spent some extra money and got the Super Pro bushing replacement. So now let's get this stuff on the car. I want to show you real quick the blank canvas that we're starting with. What I've done here is I have obviously removed everything, and then I hit it with a pressure washer and a heavy degreaser, cleaned it all real well, and then sprayed it down with some underbody coating. So everything is nice and clean, protected, and it looks good. So when all this new stuff gets put on, it's gonna look awesome. All right, we got the upper control arm in here. Now it's time to put in the upper ball joint. I hope you can see that. But I went ahead and installed the upper ball joint. Nice and loose. This guy's gonna wind up going all the way back there though, when all's said and done. But now it's time for the lower control arm. Before we reinstall these bolts, we're gonna go ahead and clean them up. Hit it with the drill, a little PB blaster. Everything that we'll be reinstalling, we'll be using this exact same process. Pretty sweet! Alright, we are making progress. Lower control arm's in. It's connected to the radius rod. I think that's what that's called. And now, what I gotta do, since this car came with primitive anti-lock brakes, I gotta mount this back onto the lower control arm. Let's get to it. Right, ABS bracket has been reinstalled to the lower control arm. And now we are going to go ahead and install our new stainless steel brake line. Alright, that guy looks like he's good in there. Nice and happy. So now we'll go ahead and grab the hub itself, drop that in place. Alright, that one in there fairly easily. I just have it kind of finger tight on the top and down below. I don't know if you can see that. But now I have a crossroad. Do I put in the coilover now, or do I put in the tie rod? I can't remember which one goes on first. As you could probably tell, I'm the furthest thing from a mechanic. So I am just going to take a shot and probably wind up doing this twice. I'm going to start off with the lower tie rod, and hopefully that'll work out. So here we go. I made the mistake of leaving the creeper out in the sun. Oh my god, this thing is on fire. It's like laying on a bed of fire or hot coals. So if you're a complete idiot like I am, what you do is you wait like 2 months after doing one side to come back and do the next. So what happens is you forget everything that you did 2 months ago. I only do one side at a time, so I can always go back and see what I did and then just copy it again. So that's what I'm going to do. Alright, tie rods are installed. They look good. You adjust them here. With these nuts, you can extend them. You want to extend them kind of the same as much as you can. And the reason you extend them is so your wheel track's straight. Now ultimately we'll get an alignment, and that will ensure that the car tracks straight. But for now, we want to be able to get it to the alignment shop, so you kind of eye it up. I guess I could put a level on it too, if you really wanted to get crazy. One other thing to keep in mind is this nut, this little washer in here. It fits specifically over like a D-shaped stud. So you have to make sure that it fits flat as you tighten it up. You don't want to bend it. Coilover's next. Here's the rear coilover spring and strut assembly. I measured them. It's the same height as the other side of the rear. So I've already done that part before I reinstalled the other side. I measured and made sure this one was the same ride height. So now we just got to reinstall it. It should be fun. There's probably a much better way to do this. No one's ever told me the way. So I'm making it happen. Alright, so you can see we got those nuts down there on the top of the mount. Look good up there. So now we are going to lift this hub up, line it up with the bottom of this, and throw a bolt through. Sometimes you need to use a jack in order to get the bolt through there. I'm going to try to do it without the jack. We'll see what happens. Have you ever seen someone so sweaty? I need to use jack. I'm this close, but I'm gonna give myself a hernia trying to do it without the jack, so I'm gonna cheat. Well, that was a hell of a lot easier. Got it right through. Hub's on, coilover's in, tie rod is on, lower control arm is on, stainless steel brake cable is on, and now it's time for caliper, rotor, ABS shenanigans, and oh, the dreaded e-brake. Oh my god, I hate this thing. Alright, we got our rotor installed. Now we're going to go ahead and attach the caliper, which is always a fun job because you can't see what the hell you're doing. So, wish me luck. Alright, so I got the caliper mounted. Now I'm messing with the stupid e-brake. This thing right here. The way it works is there is a pin. There's a pin that drops in here. And then one of these bastards that goes through the hole like so. This isn't the exact same pin that I'm supposed to use, but I like this one better, so I'm going to use it. Got it. Alright, I don't know if you can see this. don't ask me how I'm going to do it, because of course I can't remember how I did it last time. But this guy here, a little ABS sensor, he sneaks into this hole. Ta-da! So that's where he goes. 2 bolts, psst, psst, and we'll be good. Mission accomplished. We got one last thing left. Brake hose. It's gonna go there. So I almost forgot 2 things. I'm telling you, this little stuff never ends. It's just, there's so much of it. Check this out. Sick or what? So here you see all my hard work. Looks awesome. Everything's assembled. I just got to go ahead and put on the rear sway bar end links, bleed the brakes, get this baby on the ground. It's the moment we've all been waiting for. Time to drop this jack and see how she sits. So check it out. We are down, but we aren't touching. Obviously we're gonna roll the fenders. That's gonna be another video. But right now, I think it's a good starting point. It's probably gonna have to get raised up, but I'm happy with it right now. Let's get it outside. Guys, everything you need to know to restore your suspension on your 3rd gen Honda Prelude or really any car. Keep in mind everything I did so far, what you saw today, a lot of that was just hard work, time, and effort. So if you're not afraid to get your hands dirty and kind of mess around with some spray paint, you can wind up with some great looking parts. So anyway, I want to say thank you very much for watching. This is a red letter day for me. The Prelude is back together. It's not running yet, but it is back together and it will be running soon. Video will ensue. So thanks for watching. Please share, please like, please subscribe. See you later.